I watched a short movie, I guess you could call it, on Amazon Prime the other day entitled An Inspector Calls. And spoiler alert, I'm going to break it down and talk about the characters. It was very interesting. It was in the early 1900s, and I think it was in Britain, maybe. I believe it was a BBC show, movie. At any rate, it was about this family, this wealthy family. And the inspector visited the home and told them that a young woman had committed suicide. And I'm just going to quickly summarize. So the young woman had committed suicide. As it turns out, everyone in the family had some connection with this woman in a very negative way, according to what you're looking at in the movie. The father had, it was almost like a snowball effect. So the young woman worked for the father of this wealthy family. She worked on the shop floor, and she decided to strike and get all of the other women to strike because they wanted more money. And she ultimately got the money. She was able to sway the women and sway the women to walk off the job, and that forced the owner and the father of this wealthy family to bend and give them what they were asking for. However, she ended up losing her job. He was like, everybody was coming back to the shop floor. They were getting back in their positions, and as she was coming in, he was standing there with a piece of paper in his hand, shaking his head, "No, not you." And so she walked off. And then she encountered the daughter. She took about 2 months to get a new job. She was suffering and, trying to find work, and woe with me. And she got a job at a retail store. The daughter of this wealthy family comes along, and the mother of the wealthy family and the daughter were shopping, and the young daughter wanted a specific dress, and the mother said, basically, in essence, no, that's not going to look good on your body. So she calls over the woman, the main character, who is lost the job to the strike, making all of the women. She was considered a troublemaker. Okay, so the mother calls that woman over, this main character, and she puts the dress up against her, and she basically says, now this is the type of body that should wear this dress. Well, the daughter didn't like that, immediately got offended, and called the manager on the woman, because at that point that woman, the main character, was helping her, and she became envious, and so she reported the woman to the management, and you can, as you guessed it, as you can imagine, she was fired. All right, then comes the mother. Now the woman is destitute and she needs money. So the mother, the mother sits on this board with two other women who help the poor and downtrodden, and the people have to come before them and state their case, and they'll say yay or nay to money. So the woman comes in, she tells her story, and as it turns out, she's pregnant. Okay, she's pregnant, and she needs help because she has an unborn child to take care of. And the mother said, the mother of the wealthy family tells this main character woman, the women talk amongst themselves, they whisper, and she says, no, you tell the father of that child that he needs to support you. So the woman walks out. She's homeless practically and jobless. So she walks out, and turns out the son of the mother and father of the wealthy family got this woman pregnant because, the woman had to resort to prostitution to make ends meet. And while she's resorting to prostitution, the son lays down with her, and I guess he starts to fall in love with her, and he's trying to get money for her. It's a big mess. But anyway, that's how the son becomes associated. Oh, and I left out the daughter, this boy, fiance. So the movie starts with the family celebrating the engagement of the daughters and the son and another man of another wealthy family. So it was two wealthy families coming together. They were celebrating the engagement of their daughter. Well, as it turns out, he had a connection with this woman too. He saw her at some kind of flop house and brought her to an apartment that he let her stay in for a while he, she got herself back on her feet. But it wasn't him out of the kindness of his heart. No, he wanted something in return, which was, sleeping with this woman. So she ended up getting pregnant, and he ended up letting her go, not giving her money anymore because he had moved on and he was going to get married and all of this and that. So, she had to figure it out. He gave her money to the end of the year and said, "See you later." Okay. Now, you're listening to this and you might say, well, that's just terrible. That woman really went through a lot. That's just awful. Somebody should have taken care of her. That family should not have done that. I would say, hold on a minute. Really? In life, you make choices. And you have to suffer the repercussions of the choices that you, as an able-bodied, rational thinking human being, has to reconcile with. You have to deal with the choices that you made. So she chose to, get all of the women to walk off of the shop floor and protest during a major project. She decided to do that, knowing that there would be fallout. I mean, what could have happened is the company could have ended up losing that project, and then word could spread, and next thing you know, everybody's saying, don't go to them, go to this other company because they don't strike. Okay, well, that didn't happen, but you just don't know. We don't know everything that occurred while she was making the choice to get all of these women to follow her and strike. So she chose to do that. Now, was her losing the job harsh? I don't know, maybe, but maybe not. And did he have the authority and the right to do that? I think he did, evidently. Did she choose to use her body or become a prostitute? She did. She chose to do all of the things that she did. It was her choice. And she ended up committing suicide. She ended up drinking water or some cleaning solution. And she died. So I say that was her choice too. She could have just said, moved back home, she didn't have a home because both of her parents had died. And so they try to make it as difficult. I guess the goal is to make you feel sorry. But should you feel sorry? Look at your own life and the decisions that you've made in your life. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this gentleman was complaining about child support. And I thought to myself, well, you married or you decided to get involved with someone that you probably knew the type of person they were before you even got involved with them. And now a child is born and you're no longer with that person, but you have to pay child support. Well, are you blind and deaf? Did you not see the person and their actions? Did you not hear the words that were coming out of the person's mouth that you chose to get yourself involved with and ultimately have a child with? Did you look at all of that? Or did you look at it and ignore it? You made a choice. People make choices every day. Sometimes they're great choices, sometimes they're not so good choices, sometimes they're awful choices. Like the woman who Kim Kardashian got out of prison, Alice, I can't think of her last name. I think her first name is Alice, the black woman who President Trump said, yeah, let's release her. And I wholeheartedly agree that 20 years in prison is just ridiculous. I think that's what she got, 20 or 22 years. However, she allowed her phone and she got involved in drug transactions. And we all know nothing good comes out of drugs. And so with that, I would say you should serve some time. You committed a crime. So, and I even think that she said she deserved some time. Maybe not 20 years. That's extreme. That's extreme. But the point is that there are repercussions to your actions. And you choosing to do all of the things that led up to you deciding you didn't want to be on this earth anymore was all your choice. And I would say just always think about what you're getting ready to do, especially if it's something that's going to have long-term effects. And not even then, just think about the things that you do. Think about when you go to the grocery store and the food that you buy. Is this healthy? Do I have a healthy balance of food in my grocery basket? Am I dating the right guy? He just said that he liked to, I don't know, we were sitting at the dinner table on our first date and he was oogling every woman in the restaurant. Oh, but he's still a good guy. Well, not only is he oogling, he's doing this, and this. Is he really the person for you? Are you willing to accept that and turn a blind eye? Well, if you are, then you cannot be angry when something negative comes out of that, is born out of bad behavior that you saw from the beginning. So in all of this story, I just say, think about the decisions that you make, because they can have repercussions that you may not like, but that you set up all along for yourself.